And we are live, man. We are
So,
live. This is Renegade Sports. My name is Tyree Simon. I have my guest on here today. I'd like to say what's up to him.
how you doing, everybody? My name is Elijah. Guest to be, honored to be on Renegade Sports.
Yes, we're going to be talking UFC 219 going down tonight, December 30th, the last fight of the year.
Last fight of the
Uh,
year.
last fight of the year, man. I think, obviously, one of the biggest fights of this year in terms of who is the best women's fighter on the planet.
Best
What you
two,
think?
top two. Because remember, Holly Holm is two divisions. Cyborg doesn't go into
Yeah,
145, so
yeah. Well, here's the thing. When I mean best women's fighter, I'm talking about it all around. All around in combat sports history. I think you could arguably say these two were one of the best in combat sports history.
I agree. 100% agree. All around in terms of we have the ground game, we have the striking, we have the intelligence, the fight IQ. I 100% agree. Not many people can stop Cyborg. Not so many people can get their hands on Holly Holm. So
Yeah, it is definitely one of the best fights. I honestly, it's gonna be one of the best fights of the year. Um,
hands down, top five fights of the year automatically, just from the status of the two women.
Yeah, and another thing, you have on the card, you have Khabib knocking Nurmagomedov, and you have Edson Barboza, which is a freaking
Finally,
phenomenal fight.
two good matchups.
Two good matchups. We uh, wonder what Khabib gonna see tonight.
It's hard to say. The man's been off. How long has he been off? Yeah, the last time he fought was Michael Johnson, and that was like what, a couple, like maybe more than 8 months ago.
Yeah, that was the first fight in MSG, right? The first UFC card.
Yeah, it actually, yeah, it was. It was. That's when Conor
Yeah,
took the belt from Eddie Alvarez.
yeah, yeah. Exactly right.
I think so.
You know,
I'll double check that.
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll keep going. You have Sorry about that. You have Edson Barboza versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. The
Pumped
John
fight.
Lineker and Jimmy Rivera fight got canceled.
Yeah, it did.
That got canceled.
Yep, last year,
So
November 12th. You're right,
what
sir.
was it? What year was it?
Last year, 2016.
2016. Okay, so yeah, it was
Yeah.
UFC 205.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Mental math is right. Mental math is right. So it was Michael Johnson. It was a Michael Johnson fight. That was his last fight.
Yes, sir.
Get a fight with Tony Ferguson. That never came into fruition.
Missed weight.
Missed weight as well. So we're definitely gonna see what Khabib we get at this fight.
Agreed.
You also got
what?
him.
I was gonna say, I hope it's either the best Khabib show, or we get the phenomenal. What do you call that? Edson Barboza. He's been nonstop, man. That dude's been putting in work.
Oh, I think this is the last knockout was against Beneil Dariush.
A wicked knee. A wicked knee. He timed it.
Yeah.
It was a knee because he kept Beneil Dariush with a 1-2 and tried to always shoot, and he picked up on it and caught him with a knee.
And caught him. Yeah. So that was the last time we've seen Edson Barboza in the cage. So I'm definitely interested to see what Edson Barboza brings to the table. And we're going to talk about one of the flaws we may see in Khabib, but you also have Mark DeCasey versus Dan Hooker.
Daniel Hooker, yeah, that's an interesting fight. Those two can be two big stars because if I'm not mistaken, Dan Hooker moved from 145 to 155. He wasn't having the greatest success at 145.
Right, and Mark DeCasey is really an up and coming fighter. I think he's really entertaining, and has the ability to be a main eventer one day.
I think win or lose, if two scenarios here. If it is a war and these two go like back to back, even if he loses, I promise you he'll get a good fight after. Or if he wins in a dominant fashion and entertains, he'll be on a main event soon. That I can say. I definitely agree. He can definitely be on any card. I don't know necessarily on a card with like two championship fights, but definitely he'll main event soon.
Yeah, he definitely has the ability. He definitely has the ability. He's very creative, very unorthodox. People are going to love this kid.
Yeah, agreed.
Also on the card, you have Neil Magny versus Carlos Condit.
Here's my thing. Quite some time. His last fight was, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Maia? Was it Damian Maia?
I think it was Damian Maia. I think it was
where he got submitted in the first round, which none of us thought. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I know you were down for Damian Maia, his push at welterweight. Not gonna lie to you, didn't see it coming. That caught me off guard. I thought he was gonna destroy him.
Yeah, I was definitely on the Damian Maia hype train.
He was running through guys at welterweight. No, I'm not. I wasn't a fan of it, but he was running through everybody left and right.
Damian Maia went right through Carlos Condit and submitted him. I think he also submitted Neil Magny as well.
He did.
If I'm not mistaken, right?
Neil Magny was the start of the welterweight I think he was like one of the bigger names because I know he had dropped from middleweight to welterweight. One of the two people, and I think one of the first two people he fought was Neil Magny, and he submitted Neil Magny because I remember that. I remember Neil Magny. I thought was going to win. He was winning.
Right.
So he's winning back. He had 3 or 4 fight win streak, and the next thing you know, submitted. Last time we heard from Neil Magny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not the last time we heard from Neil Magny.
Yeah.
The last time we heard from Neil Magny, he got submitted by Rafael dos Anjos.
That is true. Didn't think that was going to happen either. I thought Neil Magny was going to come back, and dos Anjos proved why he was a champ. Possible 2-time, 2-division champ.
Possible 2-division champ, exactly. Definitely interested to see where Carlos Condit mind is at, where Neil Magny's mind's at as well. And you also have Carla Esparza versus Cynthia Calvillo, which I think is flying under the radar.
Yeah, but you have the experienced Carla Esparza. She's on tough, and she's one of the top 5 people in the division. Right. About Calvillo, she's been training with Team Alpha Male, and that's kind of the cream of the crop when you get to the lower weight fighters. So I don't know, could be interesting.
It's interesting. One of the things that, we could start right now with 219 card. We can start with Carla Esparza versus Cynthia Calvillo. One of the things about Carla Esparza is she was the first inaugural strawweight champion, and doesn't really she gets a lot of respect for it. Honestly,
no, she doesn't. I agree. She doesn't get the respect that she deserves because she did beat out some of the best women in that, and I guess the division at the time. Because I think the only organization that had that strawweight division was Invicta. No,
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
Invicta had a lot of what?
No, I was gonna say not only that, but she beat Rose Namajunas. Like she submitted Rose Namajunas to be the first champion,
which shows the level of growth in 2 fighters. 1, Carla Esparza, and 2, definitely Rose Namajunas, because she'd be arguably one of the best strikers in the weight division.
Absolutely.
I would be interested in seeing that fight, the rematch. That'd be a good fight.
Definitely. What we mean, Rose and Joanna
versus what's it called? Rose versus
Esparza?
Carla Esparza.
Esparza?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely could happen. So okay, so I guess we'll do our picks here and talk about it a little bit. Cynthia Calvillo is an up and coming fighter. Who has, I think, 4 wins this year alone.
Yeah, which
is crazy.
She's been in UFC. She's been pretty active, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty active. I know one of her fights was I know one of her fights I'm looking at now was an LFA. I think that's when she debuted as a strawweight, and then she beat Amanda Cooper, Joan Calderwood, but she missed weight. No, Calderwood missed weight, sorry. And then she fought a girl named Pearl Gonzalez. So she's been pretty active as opposed to, I mean, as far as when was the last time you remember her fighting?
I think the last time she fought, and you probably correct me if I'm wrong, was it Tisha Torres?
Was it Tisha Torres? She actually beat Marina Oroz. I just Googled it. She lost.
Thank you.
She had beat Marina Moros, but she had lost to Ronda Marcos in the fight previous.
Ronda, oh my God, Ronda Marcos. That's what I'm thinking.
Where is she at, by the way? Because she was pretty good. She was doing her thing for a while.
Yeah, I agree. Who knows? Who knows?
She was here and there. I remember she was here and there, but she was pretty. When she was on, she made the competition look like they couldn't hold the candle to her. Ronda Marcos was good. I still like her as a fighter. I still like to see more from her. Cynthia Calvillo and
right. Here's what I got in this fight. I'm going with Carla Esparza. I think Carla Esparza, with her wrestling ability, I think she grinds Cynthia Calvillo out, and I think that's a little bit too early, too soon for Cynthia Calvillo. She's not yet a threat on the feet. She more wins, with her transitions and catching you off guard. I think Carla Esparza stops that noise and grinds Cynthia Calvillo out and gets a decision.
I won't disrespect Esparza's actual wrestling ability because it's one of the best amongst strawweights. But I think what's different about Calvillo is the transitions, like you said, and the fact that she can, and her fight IQ is kind of getting better and better each and every fight with those transitions. And she's not like the best striker, of course. She's not one of the top strikers. Her ability to understand her opponent, read her opponent, and kind of make those adjustments are something that Team Alpha Male does well sometimes as well. So that's why I'm going to give the edge to Cynthia Calvillo because I think she's going to be one of the next big fighters at that weight class.
So I kind of looked for a second. You going with Cynthia Calvillo?
Yes, sir.
Cynthia Calvillo. All right. I can't disagree. It's really a pick 'em fight, honestly.
It's gonna be a good fight, regardless who wins. That's gonna be a really good fight.
It is. You wonder if Carla Esparza can get back to title contention, and you also wonder if Cynthia Calvillo can be the next person, could be the next star, as UFC is
making her out. Young, and we know what happens with people who are young and immediately thrust into the spotlight. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. I think with the proper guidance from Team Alpha Male, she should be able to do things. And even if she breaks apart from Team Alpha Male, that's okay. In terms of who she's fighting, she can beat Esparza, but I think Esparza is probably one of the toughest opponents to make. I don't think she's fought anyone with that level of caliber wrestling, such as Esparza.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm sorry.
She hasn't fought anyone as experienced ever.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had to put the screen on me for a second. Your screen is a little choppy. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. This is actually the first ever UFC preview we're doing. Again, this is Renegade Sports. We're doing the UFC 219 preview. First inaugural one as well. Yeah, sure. So we also have, as you hear the music stuff in the background, we also have Mark DeCasey versus Dan Hooker, which would be an interesting fight.
It's going to be an entertaining fight. Probably my candidate for fight of knockout of the night. I don't know why. Because Mark DeCasey is his last fight. He caught someone with a head kick, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
I think he lost his last fight. You can look it up for me while you look it up for me at the moment.
I'll double check.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Very
Again,
good. I'll look it up, no
to
problem.
get a little backstory, me and Elijah are in New York right now.
Oh,
It
he
was
did.
snowing. It is very cold outside.
He did lose his last fight by split decision. So yeah, but the fight before that, he knocked the guy out, and that was a pretty impressive knockout. That was Manuel versus Anderson,
Oh, okay.
and then
Who did fought?
he
Who did
fought
fight?
Timu. He is an international fighter
Oh, okay.
on the UFC side. All right, if I'm not mistaken, this took place in England. So this was the England card, and
Yeah.
Manuel fought Anderson. I remember
Sounds about right.
Manuel beat Anderson.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Um,
Um,
Dan Hooker's last fight though, well his last couple of fights, he's been 145 and then 155. He was at 145 originally. He knocked Ross Pearson out.
yeah.
Veteran, very good on the hands. Knocked him
Right.
out. So
Right.
I had to give it to him. I think this is going to be an entertaining fight to see a spectacular knockout from two guys who can possibly be very big stars in the 155 or 145, depending on if Hooker wants to drop back down.
Yeah, I'm going to Casey in this one. I think the Casey think he gets it done. I want to say TKO. If I want to give me a round, I'll say
I'll go maybe a knockout or something like that, but I feel like this fight may just go to decision and be a really good fight. Yeah.
hold up for a second. Hold on for a second. Just so I get this right, is it DeCasey or DeCase? We're pronouncing it both wrong.
Let's see.
Is there a way you could Google his name and see, and it'll be like a translator or something?
Nope. I mean, I could put it into Google, but Google's gonna just say however Google wants to say it. It's DIA, so it's Dia Kiese. Kiese. I'm gonna continue to pronounce it as Kiese. We're wrong, so let's just say the Bone Crusher. That's his nickname.
The Bone Crusher sounds good, man. I'm sticking with the Bone Crusher. Mark, we're not gonna disrespect him, man. We're not gonna disrespect him, but the we're fucking up his name.
100%. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So we're both going Bone Crusher.
Yes, sir.
Bone Crusher it is. Let's get into Neil Magny versus Carlos Condit.
I'm a big Carlos Condit fan. I think the guy's good, but we have Neil Magny. He's just so talented, man. All he has the length. He can stand up. He has good wrestling.
True.
He can get a lot of those transitions to being submitted and things like that. Is that when he faces those high, like top 5 fighters, sometimes he just doesn't show up.
Right.
And I don't know. That's what's letting me to sway to Condit, but Condit's been out for 16 months, so who knows with him?
Here's my thing. And bear with me for a second. My thing is, Carlos Condit, I thought he retired.
He didn't retire. He just USADA testing for 1. And 2, he didn't retire. He never announced retirement.
Well, no, he
just stopped
definitely. I thought he definitely was contemplating retirement.
No, he might have been. Remember, there was at one point that he said he doesn't want to fight anymore. Like he doesn't know when his next fight will be, so he stopped fighting for a while. He never came and formally said, "I'm retired." I remember his last fight with Carlos Condit. Maybe not his last fight. Maybe he was taking time away from the sport, is what I remember. And then he was like, "I'll probably come back. I don't know yet. I don't have the same passion." I was reading an article on MMA Mania, but that was one of the things that I was reading back. This was a while back. Because I guess he didn't like the state of the division. He didn't like how UFC was. I don't know. Who knows? But I remember him.
Well, one of the things that I remember is after the Damian Maia fight, which was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Has to be about a year ago. So we're saying like about a year ago, his last fight was against Damian Maia, and I remember then it was talks about him retiring. So and I say this to say that I'm interested to see where Carlos Condit's mind is at. You know, if he still has the same passion to fight.
Yeah, because the Carlos Condit we saw. Another thing was, remember when he fought Robbie Lawler? That was a fight before Damian Maia, wasn't it?
Right. Uh,
No, he fought Alves first, then he fought
he
Robbie
fought
Lawler.
Alves. He fought Alves. Yes.
He was losing the fight against Alves, and like some people from Jackson Winkle John are slow starters. We have Cowboy who is there, it's a little bit of a slow starter sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes a slow fighter. And so that's sometimes a pattern in their fighters, but still some of the top 10 fighters of all time come from Jackson Winkle John. That's besides the point. He fought Robbie Lawler. He lost by split decision, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, it was split decision.
In a fight that many of us
had
Condit winning. In a fight that many of us had Condit winning.
I still protest to this day. I thought he won.
I 100% thought he won too. I thought he won by one round. One round. But the thing, if you don't do anything to significantly stop or hurt the champion, then it's like the judges are like, and that was a very back and forth fight. That's when Robbie Lawler still had that. You could tell Robbie Lawler was like he was like, I'll fight you. Stand in my face. But it's not the
same. So my thing with this fight is if whether both fighters still have the same drive as they did. Both are kind of on the outs right now in terms of title contention. Neil Magny lost to RDA. Last time we see Carlos Condit was against
a year ago.
Damian Maia, and a year ago against Damian Maia. So I'm wondering where both mindsets are at. Both have the talent, both have the skills. It's a crossroads fight for both of them.
Yeah, it comes down to this: who wants it more for the night, or which man shows up for the night?
Right.
Show up, and for Condit, it's kind of one of those things where he took a long break off. If he loses by worst case scenario, if he loses by like split decision or like a unanimous, but it was close, that's not the end of the world. But for Magny to lose, Magny could potentially be looking at go by the UFC. So I think it's a little bit more do or die.
It's not around possibility. That being said, we gotta pick a winner here. Who do you got in this fight?
I'll go Condit.
Why?
I don't know. I always thought Condit has something to prove left because the fight with Tyron Woodley, sorry. So many unanswered questions from that fight. Remember, Carlos Condit got hurt within the first round.
Right.
It was a technical TKO, so we never knew what would have happened. Because if Condit beat Tyron Woodley right then and there, Tyron Woodley would never. I don't think he would have technically been champion.
It's a strong argument. I think it's a very strong argument.
Strong arguments there because we would have had Robbie Lawler. We would have had Robbie Lawler versus after Robbie Lawler came off of the fight with Rory McDonald, and Robbie Lawler just hasn't been the same since. So if we kept the same conditions as we have now, right. Carlos Condit could have arguably done the same thing that Tyron Woodley did to Robbie Lawler. Maybe not knocked him down in the first round, but he could have taken the belt from him.
And I remember that fight correctly. I think Carlos Condit was winning that fight until I think the leg kick. And
it wasn't. I don't want to say there wasn't a lot of activity because they were like, they're filling each other out. One could say that Tyron Woodley was around. Someone could say Carlos Condit. I would have probably scored it for Condit only because it looked like he was touching him more. But Tyron Woodley, the argument's there for Tyron Woodley for losing that round, and I can say both sides. So the first round until that end of the round ended, that's when I would have probably scored it. I couldn't score. I probably wouldn't be able to score it just until the round ended.
Right, and with Neil Magny, like you said, I don't necessarily think he's on the outs of potentially being gone from the UFC, but it's definitely not looking good.
No, it's a little bit more do or die for him, And truth be told, that's why I didn't like this. I think I hate when some of my favorite fighters go against because it's like I pick one, Worst
Yeah.
case scenario, two scenarios. Condit wins, Magny loses. That's one scenario. Condit fights possibly
Right.
anyone from the top 5. This could be Colby Covington. That's a good fight to make.
Absolutely.
You know, but if Neil Magny wins and Carlos Condit loses. If Neil Magny wins and Carlos Condit loses, then you can have Condit
Right.
versus the lower end of the top 10, which isn't a bad idea because he still has to. He's technically coming back from a long return and he's fighting one of the top 10 guys anyway. So fighting someone still on the lower end isn't bad for him. Back up to where he needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the welterweight division is that it's so stacked that even if you go
There's just
outside the 10, there's still so much talent left.
Talent, man. That division may arguably be the most diverse division in UFC right now.
Absolutely.
It is the most diverse because you have guys like Darren Till, who this guy, he's about like 6'1", 6'2", maybe 6'3", even, I don't know, but the guy's got the reach, the length. He's huge for welterweight.
Yeah.
He's huge. He's a more muscular Stephen Thompson. And Stephen Thompson's a big guy.
That's actually a great depiction. I honestly think Kamaru Usman is somebody that nobody's talking about, and everybody's
another favorite. Another favorite. I know you're a fan, and he's deserving of a good opponent. He's deserving. When it's given to him, he steamrolled them.
You could definitely notice the whole list. You got Cowboy Cerrone is still there. Yancey.
He could have went to lightweight, but that's besides the point. I'm sorry, finish.
You got Yancey. Medeiros. There you go. Save me for a second. Yancey Medeiros is there. Mike Perry, Santiago Ponzinibbio. You have a whole list of guys.
But not even these are guys who are probably not even top 6, top 7.
No, not at all.
These are guys who are demolishing competition. Competition. So that's the most interesting part about that division. But I'm gonna go.
And the thing about the
sorry,
you go Condit. No, I was gonna add on. But the thing about that division is that you have people from the lightweight division that could go up.
That is another important factor. You have people who have a hard time making 155 sometimes.
Right.
What I'm not a fan of is people going up in weight. People who have proved that going up in weight has been beneficial. When we first saw Cowboy go up in weight, Rick Story. Do you remember that combination? Exactly. Do you remember that Oh yeah. Man, beautifulest combination I've ever seen in the UFC. One of the most beautiful combinations.
Shoot, his knockout against Matt Brown when it's like a baseball bat cracking off somebody's.
Oh yeah, that was possible.
It's like a baseball bat cracking off somebody's skull.
That was a good fight. That was a really good fight.
It was a war.
That was a war. That is true. It was a war.
It was a war.
Oh, another example. I wasn't a fan of him going up to middleweight. Look what he's doing to guys at middleweight. His hands are just flying. They're flying, man. They're flying.
So there are exceptions to this whole thing, and what we're trying to say is that the welterweight division is stacked. So
yeah,
even if either of these guys lose, it's harder to climb up to get to a title contention.
It does.
The road gets a lot harder.
Well, I do have confidence of if one of these guys loses, no matter whoever loses, technically climb their ladder. It's gonna, like you said, it's just so harder. Guys like Darren Till is fightless right now.
Right.
No one wants to fight this man. That's how scary this man is.
Absolutely. I wonder if they do Stephen Thompson versus Darren Till.
It only makes sense. It's truth be told. But I mean, I'm not a fight maker.
I mean, it doesn't make sense for Stephen Thompson. No. Stephen Thompson can honestly say, yeah, he's number
like top 3. He's top 3 or 4.
Yeah, He's not top three, absolutely top three. So it doesn't really make sense for him to take the fight, but it's a fight I would love to see.
That's true. That's fair. It doesn't make sense because then if he loses, he has so much more to lose than Stephen Tom. I'm sorry. Darrentel has so much more to gain from that fight.
Right. But getting back to Neil Magny, just before we go through else, Neil Magny versus Carlos Condit, I think I'm going to go with Carlos Condit as well. I think Carlos Condit beats Neil Magny by decision. I don't see a knockout.
I was going to say decision too. I think 16 months layoff. We don't know. It's in the air. I'm going to give it a decision as well.
So we're looking at. I have Carlos Esparza beating Cynthia Calvillo by decision. I have
Calvillo beating. I have the opposite, so that's fair.
But that's a decision, right? Yep. Hello, you good?
What?
No, you didn't say who you got.
Oh, I said, well, who are you talking? I think you cut off because I might have not heard what you said.
No, yeah, I was saying Carlos Esparza and Cynthia Calvillo. I have Esparza by decision. You said you have Calvillo by what? Decision?
Oh, decision, yeah. Decision. So I have the opposite.
Decision? Okay.
Calvillo by decision. Worst case scenario,
okay, so
what else happens, it is what it is. But.
Right. But we're saying two decisions right now. Dan Hooker and Bone Crusher. We're calling him Bone Crusher now.
Bone Crusher. Respect on that name.
Respect on his name. Bone Crusher. We're saying that's possibly a knockout, but it could even go decision as well. So we're saying maybe 3 decisions going into this main card.
Yeah. I bet you the undercard has more knockouts or finishes than the actual main card. I can see that. That happens a lot sometimes when you have a lot of strikers or when you have this many people who are like, I guess not strikers, but I guess well-rounded or like just good at like they are a complete MMA fighter. You kind of don't necessarily always have those knockouts or those submission finishes, but you have really good fights.
Right.
I don't mind not having I'm not hoping anyone gets knocked out, but like that is a good fight, and that's as a fan I can't ask so much more.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. I wonder what the crowd is gonna receive it, but I think these 3 fights we just talked about, definitely a lot of intrigue, definitely a lot of things that comes out of these fights as well. With Cynthia Calvillo, Esparza, Neil Magny, Carlos Condit, even Hooker versus DeCasey. There's a lot of ramifications that come out of this fight.
Yeah.
So I know you gotta get your charge and everything like that. We'll give you a second. I'll continue on. So we also have Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Edson Barboza.
I'm gonna get it right now.
Yeah, you're good. So sorry about that. Elijah is gonna get his charger for his computer. Unprofessional as it is, But we will continue on. Edson Barboza versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Very, very interesting fight. You wonder what kind of Khabib we see in this fight. You back, buddy? No, I was talking about Khabib. I was talking about how unprofessional you are. It turned off? I can still see you. All right, well, he's having technical difficulties. I will keep going. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Edson Barboza. 2 of the top in the lightweight division. Both fighters have everything to gain in this fight, everything to lose. If Khabib loses this fight, we could arguably say he takes a step back, and we don't see, Khabib versus Tony. I think you can't do that fight, and you can't put Khabib back in title contention again. So my partner computer had turned off, so I'm gonna fly solo for a second. So Khabib versus Edson Barboza. Like I said, two people who have a lot to lose and everything to gain.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, that was a very tough go there.
Yeah, well, no one's perfect.
Well, no, you're unprofessional. You're professional. I had to carry the show. Okay, so now we can continue, right?
Yes, sir.
We continue. All right. So, like I was saying, Khabib and Edson Barboza, two people that have everything to gain, everything to lose in this fight.
Agreed.
If Khabib loses this fight, it's hard to sell a Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. Which I think is what they want to go. I think where they want to go is they want to do Khabib versus Tony Ferguson before they do Conor.
Well, the thing is, Conor defended his lightweight belt, and last time I checked, when's the last time someone fought Conor for the lightweight belt?
Yeah. Go on.
Let me know. No disrespect to Conor, that he's the man. Conor's the man. Hands down, Conor's the man. But for Dana White to actually say defended the belt, he got the belt, fought Floyd Mayweather, and that was his defending. Come on. Come on, Dana. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Are we
Go ahead.
Are we not? Conor, no, I think Conor can beat a lot of people in the lightweight division. Someone may figure out how to beat Conor, but Conor has not defended the belt, and so that's the interesting place we are at. So do we also have Tony? And Tony went on a what? Maybe like 8+ fight winning streak.
Was it 10? I thought it was 10.
May have been 11, truth be told. Or I'm thinking of Max Holloway. Max Holloway was taking 10 for Tony. I know they were close in their number.
Yeah, so I'll let you look that up while I'll continue a little bit. So, yeah, so I think I want to say the next fight. If I'm putting my promoter hat, the fight you would make would be Khabib versus Tony, because you don't know if Conor's gonna fight again because of the money he made from the Mayweather-McGregor fight, which is what it is, and you may have to vacate that belt in 2018. So you would want the Khabib versus Tony fight because that fight sells more than Edson Barboza versus Tony at this point. So I'm
sorry, guys. Sorry.
No, yeah, because you already did Tony Ferguson versus Edson Barboza. Fair. So we already know how the result ended.
Fair.
The fight they want to make would be Khabib versus Tony.
Agreed.
If we're putting the promoter hat on, that's the fight you want to make. You want to get to, because it's the fight you build up this year.
You're right. That fight brings in most money.
Right. So in the UFC eyes, I'm betting they want Khabib to win this fight. That being said, I don't think Khabib wins this fight.
Well, let's look at this. Victory for Khabib.
And okay, so we'll do that. I'll tell you my keys to victory for Khabib, and you tell me your keys to victory for Edson Barboza.
Perfect.
Okay. So my keys to victory with Khabib is just plain and simple. Get Edson Barboza to the ground. Agreed. That is the only way I see Khabib winning this fight is getting Edson Barboza to the ground. I don't see Khabib outstriking Edson Barboza in any facet.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and with Khabib, he also does well in the clinch.
Clinch the entire guys out.
My keys to
victory, wrestling with Daniel Cormier and all of them.
My keys to victory for Khabib is to don't stay on the feet too long. Try to get in close with Edson Barboza, get him in the clinch, and take him down. And work from there. I think the more time Khabib stands on the feet, the more time he sets himself up for failure at this point.
Agreed. Very well put, actually. Truth be told, we know what the fight with Michael Johnson. You were pointing that out to me the other day. Was
Yeah,
able to outland him. Technically, he wobbled him. No,
absolutely. And that we talked about it earlier. That's one of the chinks in the armor that people see is that maybe he's not well maybe not that good. He's not that good standing up. He's not that good of a striker. His best bet of winning this fight is taking the person to the ground, which I don't believe in. I think he is. I think he is a decent striker, but I don't. He's not on the level of Edson Barboza.
well, and in UFC too, he is. I don't know if you play with him. In UFC too, he's. Magomedov is on like the greatest. I mean, his jab is lightning fast. His hook, his overhand. I mean, the dude's just the greatest, one of the greatest strikers at lightweight. I'm just,
By the way, if you play UFC, was it EA Sports 3? I played the beta. Khabib is a monster. He actually his stand up is horrible, but if you take him to the ground, he's a monster. You ain't getting.
I don't even doubt it. I don't even doubt it. I wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you something. When that man gets you to the ground, you're not getting up, dude. You to the ground, it takes you down, and he's going to advance his guard. He's going to try to get you to half till he mounts, or he's going to cradle you in half and release a hammer on you. Body shots, face, body, face. Yeah, throw a lot of elbows on the ground because he finds a way to hit you. Like in a weird, awkward position, he keeps the pressure on your chest, puts his head, digs his head into the chest, puts his head, kind of smothers you with his forearm. So he knows the placement of where to be with his body exactly. Will impose his will on
you. He wrestled bears, bro.
That is true.
He wrestled bears.
It doesn't get more. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think the originator of wrestling is a bear, technically.
That is some. Honestly, that's probably first of all. I wonder about the parenting there. I wonder about the parenting there, but he wrestled the bear.
He won. So he won. He won. It's not like he just wrestled. And he won. I don't know, man. That dude's badass, man. That dude's badass. But for Barboza.
Yeah, his keys to victory.
Keys to victory. Don't change what you've been doing to try to match him too much. What's been working for him? Jab is great. The jab has been working. Stick to the jab. Head movement, body movement, angles. Cut those angles if you can. You don't want to be pushed. Because that's when as soon as he gets him about maybe a foot away from the cage, he's already got the clinch in mind. So it doesn't really matter. So the key here is lateral movement, body kicks, leg kicks. My only thing is Khabib able to catch these leg kicks? And I say we start off the round with leg kicks, high. Easy way to put it. Happens all the time. You kind of get them in the mindset that they need to be blocking low. Sometimes you can always start your kick low and bring it up high. And with the high caliber kicker, Edson, he can disguise a head kick as a regular low kick. So, I mean, and just takedown. Watch out for takedowns. Be ready for the sprawl. Always be ready for the sprawl. Ground.
And my thing with Khabib also, when you could add into that is the feints. I think with the threat of a takedown, you could feint. You could throw those feints and catch Edson Barboza off guard.
100%. 100% agree.
You're not gonna maybe to the point of not standing with him and trying to knock him out, or because he's not going to do that. I don't think he has it in his caliber. We haven't seen it yet, but I think if he throws those feints, you could throw Edson Barboza off to where you don't know what Khabib's going to do. You don't know what Khabib's going to do. And also pressure. I think no matter what, Khabib has to pressure. He has to push Edson Barboza back. He has to put his back against the cage. And you have to look for those clinches, exchanges. Go inside. Let some dirty shots in.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I don't recall this, but how is Edson his clinch work? What would you say? being on the cage and Ty Plum, all that. What would you say? How does he? Because I don't remember too many situations where he was in the clinch. So, what do you think? I know the clinch poses the greatest if we have a hard Nurmagomedov using it against him, of course. But we haven't seen him we use his clinch a lot. I can't recall from just off the top of my head. But have you noticed any instances?
It's hard to say. Without going through my phone and going to UFC Fight Pass like that, I can't tell you off the top of my head. But one thing I do know is that Khabib is the stronger guy. Without a sound of doubt, I think he's the stronger guy in this case.
He's stronger at maybe 200, but at 155, do you think he's really going to be? Because I don't think Edson's weight cut is as bad as Nurmagomedov's.
But we know Khabib is ballooning back up.
Well, here's the thing. Interesting side note. Sorry to draw this away. 4 fighters have been flagged that the what is it called? One of the state athletic commissions were like, I think it was California State Athletic Commission.
California.
Yes, they sent a couple of fighters, including Marlon Moraes.
Yeah.
They said he ballooned up to, I think, maybe more than 10% of his body mass. So he went above. He went above the recommended amount that you're supposed to get back, or the limited amount you're able to get back. So it's back more than 10% of his body weight. That's also an issue we can look at now too. Getting flagged for that.
But this is also in Vegas. This fight is in Vegas, so I'm wondering what their protocol in this whole thing. I think Marlon Moraes was 15%. I think it was 15%.
15% more. Him. There was another guy, Luke Thomas.
Yes.
There's 2 more people that were a little bit. They got back more weight than they actually should have gotten. Which, I mean, I guess some people doesn't. But in the end run, I agree with you. I will say that though, I do think Khabib is the naturally stronger guy. I won't disagree with that only because of the grappling.
Right.
However, will it be enough? Edson Barboza.
Yeah. So again, I'm rolling with Edson Barboza. I think Edson Barboza shocks the world. I think Edson Barboza beats Khabib Nurmagomedov, and it puts a real wrench into the UFC plans, honestly. Because I don't think they want to do Edson Barboza versus Tony Ferguson. I think what they really really want is Khabib versus Tony.
Which would be, because this would be the 3rd time trying to make the fight, no? That's a better, like you said, that's a better sell than saying a rematch from when Conor wasn't there. Bigger draw in a fight saying 3 times we tried to get this. This guy's been through 2 weight cuts, couldn't do it, body shut down, but he got it right, came back to fight for the title, and made weight. Line than saying this is the rematch. And I 100% agree with your point earlier. I do. I agree. Role of fight maker to try to get the most money and the most fight and sell pay-per-view, because this is definitely going to be pay-per-view material. This is not going to be on fight night. This is pay-per-view. If we're doing that, then it makes more sense to push Khabib versus Tony. It just does.
Yeah, I think one of the things we both talk about is the fact that we try to think from a promoter's mindset. We always try to put the promoter's hat on and say what we think would be the most best for business.
Yes. We try to
not really with the fights that make sense, but the fights that are best for business.
Exactly, I agree. That's kind of how we have to think now.
Yes. So I think Edson Barboza wins this fight, and I think Edson Barboza finishes Khabib.
I say Edson Barboza by unanimous decision.
I'm going with the finish. I'm going with the finish on Khabib.
That's fair, and I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset at all because Edson has it coming. Nurmagomedov doesn't get. Technically, no one wants to see anyone get knocked out, but it's always
right. Absolutely.
I don't want to say I want to see him get knocked out, and you've never said that knock him out, but in general, to get the knockout it's a spectacular thing. It's not easy. This high caliber,
yeah,
it's not that easy. I don't know. I don't feel the energy because remember that there was one card Rockhold versus the David Branch, where we had nothing but finishes.
Right.
Maybe one decision on that card, and that card was the underdog of the year, I believe. That was the underdog card of the year because there was every single fight ended in a finish except for maybe one or two, which were unanimous decision, but those weren't bad fights either.
And speaking of which, we'll do a fight of the year, card of the year, stuff like that in the future.
No problem.
Yeah, that I think that's going to be something to look back at all the fights and see what was the best, fight cards, what the best fights, knockouts, submissions.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, and the last one, Holly Holm versus Chris Cyborg.
I don't know, man.
I toss and turn. I toss and turn with this fight.
Every time I see a commercial, this is your show. You talk. Tell me.
Did you see the? But did you see the
Sorry, what?
The Ngannou versus Miocic promo.
Great promo. Great promo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pumped for January 20th.
It's gonna be a great fight.
Can't wait to see that. But on Holly Holm versus Chris Cyborg, again, whoever wins this fight has the argument to be one of the best female fighters to ever step in the UFC, and one of the best female fighters to ever in combat sports history. Period.
Here's my thing. It's funny because MMA math, we've gone over this more than one time. MMA math makes no sense.
Absolutely.
Because you could have Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey. Then you have Holly Holm lose to Miesha Cupcake Tate, right? You have Miesha Tate lose to Amanda Nunes.
Right.
But then you have Holly Holm fights Cyborg. Cyborg would have destroyed Ronda Rousey. If she could make 135. If 135 was a viable option and she wasn't going to possibly die from...
Now,
honestly,
Elijah,
Cyborg may have been able to beat Ronda Rousey. I'm sorry.
We also have this argument though. If I'm Coach Edmond, and I'm in a corner of Ronda Rousey, I'm telling her to take her down.
It's not gonna happen. She's a black belt. She's a black belt. It's not gonna happen.
We both know that Ronda Rousey is an invincible monster.
In judo. Sure.
In judo. Yeah, maybe.
MMA, possibly. Possibly. But this just goes back to the MMA math. Because if she beats Cyborg, technically Holly is the best. But does that make Miesha Tate better than Holly? Because Holly lost to Miesha Tate. Better than Cyborg? No. Because I even think Miesha knows that she probably couldn't beat Cyborg if she buffed up one fight. It's probably not going to happen.
And Ronda Rousey beat Miesha Tate, so yeah, MMA math doesn't make sense.
Ronda Rousey beat Miesha Tate, so MMA math is just
twice, not once, but twice.
Broke her arm in the back twice.
She caught her body twice.
Okay, so same kind. Same. Took both arms home.
She's the only fighter I've ever known that says, better watch out for the arm bar. Just watch out for your arm.
If you fought Ronda Rousey when Ronda Rousey was at the height of her career, you knew that to escape the armbar, which was impossible because this woman was an Olympic level judoka. So when you were sleeping on every other aspect of the game, you were surprised by the fact that she probably could get you in the clinch. Sarah McMahon. She could flip you over and knock you out punches. What was the girl she did that to?
Beth Correa.
No,
Alexis Davis.
Yeah, come on,
man. Davis.
She was demolishing these women. Beat Kat Zingano. Still didn't think the fight was going to go down in weight. Doesn't matter. Let's move on to the subject of what's it called? Cyborg versus Holly Holm.
For you guys that don't know, Elijah has a soft spot for Kat Zingano, so that's why he's trying to skip over Kat Zingano getting beaten. I think it was 12 seconds or whatever.
She was the only one. I
That's the
thought
point.
could do it.
That's the point. So Holly Holm versus
Move on.
so
Move
Holly
on, please.
versus Cyborg. Um, I'm rolling with Holly Holm.
I'm going to
I
go
think
with the underdog as well. You always pick the underdog, so that's where this comes in. Why you pick Holly Holm?
I'm rolling with Holly Holm, man. I'll give you this reason why. The reason why I'm rolling with Holly Holm is the fact that I don't think we've seen Chris Cyborg pushed in the UFC.
You haven't seen her push ever, really.
Exactly. So, well, she has been pushed. She has been pushed outside the UFC.
She's lost maybe 2 or 3 fights in her career, maybe.
Yeah, but besides the point, in the UFC, she's been dominant. My thing with that is, this is a 5-round fight. Can Chris Cyborg cardio stand up for 5 rounds at 145? My issue with this, she fought Tanya Evinger. I think it was the fight card with DC versus John Jones. I forgot the what was
that?
I think it was UFC.
If I'm not mistaken, that was in February. Though.
Was that February? No, it was the summer, right? August, right?
It was August.
August.
It was
Yes,
the August
August.
card. Yeah,
it was August. It was August. Right, it was the August card. So she fought Tanya Evinger, and Evinger, quite frankly, no disrespect to her, she really didn't do much in the fight. She really couldn't do anything in the fight. She looked outmatched. And she Cyborg really didn't waste any energy at all. She didn't really even look like she was gassed or anything. She was able to pick her shot. She wasn't aggressive. She was able to keep doing damage throughout the 4 rounds.
Yeah. No. Was it? It didn't go 4 rounds.
I think it went 4 rounds.
Let me double check.
Because I remember myself thinking, yo, she could really just end this fight anytime now.
I will say the fight went longer than it should have. I think so. But it wasn't like she was getting beat. It just went longer than it should have.
That's credit to Tonya Evinger to be able to stick around after all that and to stay that long.
Round 3. Ended in round 3.
It was round 3? Okay, so I'll say round 3. What minute?
Round 3.
All right, so okay, so I mean, it was heading that way.
It was a 4th round, so you can make the argument she found worst case scenario if she survived it.
Well,
if she survived it, she would have. Yeah.
But we're saying Chris Cyborg's cardio looks great, but it's against a fight where she wasn't really pushed. She wasn't really she didn't really expend any energy. Tanya Evinger was outmatched, and she just stuck behind her jab and was just destroying her. So I see Holly Holm pushing the pace. I see Holly Holm making Chris Cyborg work. And I see Chris Cyborg getting tired late in the rounds. It really matters about the cardio in this fight.
I will say this. I don't want to I'll let you finish if you have any more.
Oh, you go ahead.
I agree. Cardio is going to be a big factor. Very elusive. And it's not like she runs away. It's that she can cut angles in and out. She's a great counter striker.
Right.
If I was Chris Cyborg, leg kicks, start chopping the legs to slow her down for the later rounds. That way she can't move as much. That would just be me, right? That would be me. I would throw combinations and end with leg kicks, right? Home, it's the body. You got to work the body. Work the body. Leg kicks. I want to see push kicks. Push kicks work. We have Robert Whitaker. Perfect example. Everyone thought Robert Whitaker was going to get steamrolled
by Yoel Romero.
And what happened was in the first round, in the first 3 rounds, Yoel Romero was winning. He was getting the better of the exchanges. There was a grappling exchange here and there. Yoel Romero had superior positioning in terms of those. But when it came to the later rounds, you saw Robert Whitaker kind of enforce this push kick where he would push off either the back leg and just boom. And he would start the combo with that and then go in with the jab, or he would try to come in with hooks and try to finish with that. And that significantly slowed Yoel Romero down. 5-round fight. So, but Cyborg has more experience fighting, which leads me to believe that if Cyborg's game plan is to not patiently wait and but to carefully pick her shots and her exchanges and to save until later rounds, then
Right.
Cyborg can do it. Cyborg may be able to beat Holly Holm. Can she keep up with the pace of Holly Holm? Not to say Holly Holm sets a pace like Max Holloway, but Holly Holm sets a pace that's fighters can fight. And truth be told, she sets one of the greater paces better than a lot of the male fighters too. So
and the thing with Holly Holm is the fact that she could push the pace that Chris Cyborg has never felt before. You get what I'm saying? Like this is at 145. Chris Cyborg just had to cut weight to get to 145.
Holly Holm
so
put on weight. Maybe cut a little bit. She probably cut a little bit first, and then packed on a little bit more muscle, or she probably did a little bit more powerlifting, or whatever it says, to put on more power and fight her. I agree with that.
If you see her in the weigh-in, she looks freaking phenomenal. Like
she looks good. They both look good. Cyborg looked good, man. Cyborg looked lean and healthy. She looked lean and healthy. So did Holly Holm. They both had really, and they didn't look They didn't look as dehydrated as other fighters usually look. So I'm glad.
And they both.
Okay,
no. I was gonna say they both came on the scale. I think the first two people to come on the scale.
Hey, listen, hats off to them. They made weight. They both look good. I think it's going to be an interesting fight, and I'm really excited. But I got Holm winning this.
So we both like I said, we both have Holm. So where do we see this fight going?
If he makes it past the third round, there's a potential for TKO, but I just don't see it. She is so tough. I don't see her stopping. She's gonna try to go the 5 rounds. Unless Holly Holm stops her, which maybe a little bit harder than I think. She could probably do it, but I really think this goes the full 5 rounds, and we see a unanimous decision. Unless, because I just don't see her knocking her out. But I have to see past the 3rd round. That's the defining factor for me.
Yeah, with Holly Holm, I see this going, as this. If Chris Cyborg gets tired in the 3rd, and let's say if she gets tired in the fight, we're not even gonna say rounds. If she gets tired in the fight, can she keep that same? Could she keep the same pressure, the same pace with Holly Holm?
Because
that's my thing. My thing.
Yes, cardio. I agree, cardio. But the problem is, Cyborg is just so dangerous. She is strikers, without a doubt, one of the most lethal strikers in UFC. Without a doubt, I have no doubt she is able on any female fighter that she's ever fought. Except I think she was supposed to fight Megan Anderson, and she fought some other girl who was maybe taller than her, like just physically bigger than her, and that was one of the only times she lost.
Yeah.
One of the only times she's ever really lost is when she fights opponents that are bigger than her, or maybe who have more experience than her and are slightly like the same size or slightly bigger. She's never lost anyone smaller than her.
Right.
See if Holly Holm can get it done. The majority of everyone bets on Cyborg tonight.
Yeah, I think this fight is big. This is a big fight, especially to end the year off. This really cements, either these women's legacy in terms of who is one of the best to step in the UFC.
Agreed. Yeah. And win or lose, I have the utmost respect for both of these fighters. They're just so both freaking 100%. Talented. They're just so freaking talented. It's just this is a very hard fight to call. You want to pick Holm almost because she is the underdog and she can get, and the heart of your hearts, she can get it done. You got Cyborg, who is arguably the greatest female fighter of all time.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough one, but I'm going Holly Holm. I'm going Holly Holm.
Agreed.
I tossed and turn with this, but I'm gonna say She gets the decision. I'm gonna say she gets the decision. Unanimous decision. I'm going with you. I
Okay.
think Holly. Yeah, I think Holly Holm is gonna win this fight. But I think Chris Cyber's gonna have enough toughness to stick through it and not get finished.
I tell you, man, she's never been tested. So if she's tested, I think she can overcome the adversity. But will she be able to keep up with the pace? Is the question. Finding whether she can overcome the adversity of lasting in those longer rounds. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to which girl wants it the most. Sorry, which woman wants it the most.
Right.
And they both want it, and they both can do it. Truth be told, if this was anybody else, I'd probably pick. I'm gonna lie to you. If this was any other fighter in the women's featherweight, unless it was Kat Zingano, which I would be very interested in that fight. Else, I would 100% put my vote on Justino Cyborg.
Well, it's gonna be a crazy night. I can't wait. 7:25 now in the East Coast.
3 hours back.
Yeah, 8 o'clock is when the prelims start. I think the Fight Pass thing's on now. I wonder.
I'm on MMA right now. Not just yet. So.
Okay. So yeah, the prelims start at 8 o'clock on the East. So yeah, one
more fight I just want to mention.
Sure.
Jury is back. Miles Jury is back.
Miles Jury, yeah, versus was it Rick Glenn?
Yep, Rick Glenn was I think he was a champion in World Series of Fighting, just like Justin Gaethje.
You know, another notable mention in this card is Luis Smolka. I'm interested to see where Luis Smolka does tonight. You know, he was somebody that we both thought that could be a flyweight contender, and really hasn't a lot of success lately. Lost to Brendan Moreno, lost to Ray Borg, so Tim Elliott. So right now is really a crucial fight for Luis Smolka. We both thought could be in that title contention.
I thought he would be one of the next, and it's not to say he's talented. It's just
exactly.
I think it's the point you were making with me, Mighty Mouse versus the rest of the division.
Yeah,
a divide. There is that's just the simplest way to put it. The division and Mighty Mouse, and it's not a big divide because you have fighters getting there. You have Henry Cejudo, you have Sergio Pettis. You have a lot of the fighters getting up there, but they're just not at the caliber that he's at right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a divide in that division, and we're going to talk about fighter of the year, but and who should it be? But I think Luis Smolka, this is a crucial fight for him. You know, I find myself rooting for Luis Smolka just because I know what he can do. So it's gonna be an interesting interesting card. Yeah, interesting card altogether. Yeah. It's great. It's been a great very great couple of months. 218, 217, 219 now. Yeah. So anything else you want to say before we close this out?
No, thank you for having me, man. Glad to be here. All fighters, good luck. I hope, hey, some of my favorite fighters, so, you always got a fan in me.
You are my partner in crime, man. I can never do a MMA talk or anything like that without you. You are my partner in crime and everything. So I thank you for coming on here.
Then I gotta go. If Joe Rogan calls, I'm out. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Listen. I heard Bellator needs a commentator.
Shit, I need a job too. All right, man.
All right, man. Thank you guys for listening. Leave a comment. Where can we contact you at?
For me?
On Facebook, right?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Let me know. Look me up, Elijah.
Well, no. What is your handle, Elijah?
I don't know. Should I have a handle?
You don't have Facebook?
I do have a Facebook. What is a handle? I'm not.
What is your Facebook account?
Jones.
Okay, sorry, we didn't pick up on that.
That's because you cut me off, sir. Tell you what, Elijah versus Tyrese, 155. That's what we want. That's what the fans want to see.
Listen, I'll take you down. I could. Listen. I didn't wrestle bears, but I wrestle people in the streets. I'll take you down.
Say no more, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me. I'll cut maybe like 4 pounds and I'm there, man. I'll cut 4 pounds and I'm there.
Listen,
All right?
thank you for coming on here, guys.
No
Thank you for
problem, man.
listening. Drop a like, subscribe to us. We hope to do a lot more things in the future. This is a pleasure. The first ever Renegade Sports MMA talk.
Yep.
You know, so thank you guys. Hope to do more. And again, leave a like, subscribe, comment. Enjoy the fights. Bye, guys.